Hi folks, I'm Matt and welcome to My Expanded Universe, a show where I go through the entire EU in chronological order as best I know how. Folks, today we're going to talk about a trilogy of Bantam novels called The Bounty Hunter Wars. Now, this was written by K.W. Jeter, and it takes place shortly after A Bar of Light That, when Dengar and Boba Fett are in that medical facility I told you about. And Boba's sharing with Dengar, as he's healing, a story of what happened in Boba's past. Now, in Boba's past, he was actually hired by Prince Caesar, we find out, to infiltrate and ultimately disband the Bounty Hunters Guild. It's run by Boss now. At first it was run by his dad, but Boss took over, killed and ate his father because that's what every son does. Now, there were 3 books in this trilogy, Mandalorian Armor, Slave Ship, and Hard Merchandise. And I'm kind of reviewing them all together here because there is a lot of flashback story and then a little bit of current story mixed in between. So anyway, Boba Fett's sent in to join the Bounty Hunters Guild. The Bounty Hunters are super happy to have him because Boba Fett has refused to join their guild before. Boss thinks this is a win for him because there's always been this fight for superiority between Bosk and Boba Fett. And so he's happy, but a little suspicious as well. And we know what's going on there. There are some interesting characters along the way. It's a spider-like character. He's called the Assembler. It's Kudan Mobat. I don't really know how you say his name, but it's an assembler who's a little spider. He's like the middleman. He's the go-between. He's the person that Boba Fett goes to for information. He shares information back and forth. I thought he was a very interesting character as well. The story continues. There's a bunch of other things going on, and kind of find out the fate of the Bounty Hunters Guild in the quote-unquote Bounty Hunters Wars. It kind of spills into the present as well, as they have to continue on after he shares the past, which is mainly what book 1's about. It eventually gets into the present as well. I call this the Forgotten Bantam Trilogy because a lot of people forget it ever came out. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm someone else who constantly is forgetting about it. Not many people remember it. If people read it, they don't remember that much about it. And you're thinking, how? It had all the makings of being one of the most memorable epic trilogies that Bantam ever delivered, right? Because it's called, aka the Bounty Hunters War. Hello, that should be a win in and of itself, right? We should be like, yeah, all your favorites are in there too. There's all the classic bounty hunters in there, and lots of Boba Fett too. There's Prince Caesar from Shadows of the Empire, which hadn't gone by too long, so people who love that book should love this. There's some Black Sun in it and stuff. So there's a lot of things. It's like they took all these winning formulas and they made the most mediocre story ever. It's not bad at all, but it's not going to be in my top 20, possibly even my top 30 books. I even told you it had interesting characters. It's interesting that Boba Fett was going in there. The Bounty Hunters Guild, all that stuff, that storyline interests me a little bit. But it's mediocre and it's forgettable, and I don't know why. It's like if this was given to Dave Wolverton or Michael Stackpole or even Timothy Zahn, they probably could have done a better job. But it's not a knock on K.W. Jeter. But man, you had an all-star cast assembly here, and you produced a mediocre and forgettable product. Again, a lot of people, when you're mentioning Bantam novels, they forget and pass over this one. Bruce, a friend of mine who was making a list for his top 10 EU for a podcast we did a while back, he totally forgot about the Bounty Hunter Wars. When I pointed out, he was like, oh yeah, I don't remember what that was about. But he read it. And people who read it forget what it's all about. I mean, completely forgettable storyline. And it shouldn't be with all the elements that you see presented there. I don't have an answer. I just tell you that the whole time you're reading it, you're thinking, all right, okay, it's not bad. like I said, I do like the Assembler character. I like some of the other storylines in there too. I love Dengar and Boba Fett forming that relationship and everything picking up from the Tales of the Bounty Hunters previously established stories and stuff. And so there's a lot in there that's too light, but for some reason, this book has just slipped away from the minds of most expanded universe fans. So, hey, if you have thoughts about it, let me know in the comments. And I will see you next time with another video.